Have you ever wondered why your legs feel weaker lately? Even though you're eating right, staying active, and doing everything they say you should? Why climbing stairs feels steeper than it used to? Or why getting out of a chair takes just a little more effort than before? You might think maybe it's just age. But what if it's not? What if something you've been doing every day with full confidence, thinking it's healthy, is actually working against you? Here's the truth most doctors and diet books never mention. It's not always what you're not doing. Sometimes it's what you're already doing, without knowing the harm it causes. And for millions of people over 60, that daily mistake comes in the form of something we all trust: fruit. We've heard it our whole lives. Fruit is healthy. Fruit is natural. Fruit is good for you. And sure, many fruits are, but not all fruits are created equal, especially not when it comes to aging bodies. You see, some fruits that are perfectly fine for a 30-year-old can be silently harmful to someone in their 60s, 70s, or beyond. Why? Because our circulation slows, our joints become more fragile, and blood sugar regulation isn't what it used to be. Some fruits, while sweet and innocent on the surface, are packed with natural sugars, acids, and compounds that can inflame your joints, spike your blood sugar, weaken your leg muscles, and make everyday movements harder than they need to be. And the worst part? It doesn't hit you right away. The damage is subtle and slow, until one day you realize your legs ache more after a short walk, or your knees feel stiff just from sitting too long. That's why in this video from Senior Life Handbook, we're going to uncover 7 seemingly healthy fruits that may be hurting your leg strength and joint health. Some of them might be in your fruit bowl right now, so if you want to protect your balance, mobility, and independence, stay with me. And if you care about your health, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another tip from Senior Life Handbook, where we talk about real health solutions that matter to real people like you. Oh, and if what I'm saying already hits home, type 1 in the comments. If you're not sure yet, type 0. Because your voice matters, and you're never too old to take charge of your health. Ready to find out what's really hiding in your fruit bowl? Let's get started. Let's start with a fruit that seems like the definition of healthy: pineapple. It's tropical, it's juicy, and it's praised everywhere for its natural anti-inflammatory enzyme, bromelain. Sounds like something that should be good for your joints, right? But here's the twist. For seniors, pineapple may actually be making your leg pain worse, not better. Let's break it down. Pineapple is loaded with natural sugars, and as we age, our blood vessels become more delicate and less responsive to sugar spikes. When you eat pineapple, it causes your blood sugar to jump, and that quick spike can damage the tiny blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to your legs, feet, and muscles. What happens next? Slower circulation, less oxygen reaching your lower limbs, and that leads to pain in your calves, thigh fatigue after a short walk, that nagging tightness behind your knees, swelling in your ankles, even when you've been sitting all day, and that's not all. Pineapple is also highly acidic, and acid is no friend to aging joints. If you already deal with arthritis or inflammation, pineapple may act like fuel to the fire, intensifying that burning sensation in your hips, knees, and ankles. Some seniors even describe it like this: after I eat pineapple, it's like the strength in my legs just drains away. But maybe the most dangerous part? It's subtle. There's no instant crash or dramatic pain. Pineapple doesn't hit you like a hammer. It's more like a drip, slowly eroding your strength until one day you realize, why can't I move like I used to? And if you're taking medications, especially blood thinners, the enzyme bromelain in pineapple could interfere, making your meds either too strong or not effective enough. Here's the thing. We're not saying you have to banish pineapple from your life forever. But if you're over 60 and dealing with leg pain, swelling, or joint issues, it may be time to take a closer look at how this healthy fruit is really making you feel. At Senior Life Handbook, we believe knowledge is power. So if pineapple, the so-called anti-inflammatory fruit, can cause this much hidden damage, what about the next fruit on the list? Well, it's soft, it's comforting, and it's known for giving you potassium and muscle support. But it could be quietly working against your circulation. Let's talk about bananas. Up next. Next up, a fruit that almost everyone thinks is good for your muscles and energy. Bananas. They're soft, sweet, easy to eat. Rich in potassium, often praised for preventing muscle cramps, and thought to be great fuel for the body. But for older adults, bananas might not be the friend you think they are. Let's take a closer look. Bananas are high in natural sugars and fast-digesting carbohydrates. When you eat one, your blood sugar rises quickly, and your body responds by releasing insulin. But here's the problem. As we age, our insulin response becomes less efficient. That quick sugar spike can turn into circulatory strain. And the result? Weaker blood flow to the legs, higher inflammation in the joints, and a creeping sense of heaviness and stiffness in your lower body. You might notice it after meals, that dull ache in your calves, your legs feeling sluggish when climbing stairs, or a strange tightness in your ankles, like you've been walking all day, even when you haven't. And for those with heart issues or poor circulation, there's another layer to worry about. Bananas may cause your body to hold onto fluid, leading to swollen ankles, puffy feet, and joints that feel stiff and sore. It's sneaky too. Because bananas feel light and natural, most people don't think twice about eating them daily, or even before bed. But that repetitive sugar spike, that fluid retention, the inflammation in your legs, it adds up. Day after day, it quietly chips away at your strength, making you think you're just getting older, when in fact your fruit bowl may be part of the problem. So here's the question. If a fruit as innocent as bananas can do this, what happens when we eat even smaller, sweeter fruits in handfuls? The answer might surprise you. Let's talk about grapes. Up next. Now let's talk about a fruit that's so small, so sweet, and so easy to snack on. You'd never suspect it could be hurting you. Grapes. They're soft, juicy, heart-healthy, or so we've been told. They're often praised for their antioxidants, and you can eat them by the handful without thinking twice. But here's what no one tells you. For seniors, grapes can quietly fuel inflammation, especially in your legs, feet, and joints. Let me explain. Grapes are packed with fructose, a natural sugar that's absorbed directly by your liver. Now, in small amounts, your body can handle it. But if you eat too many, and grapes are very easy to overeat, that fructose gets converted into fat and something more dangerous, uric acid. What does that mean for your body? When uric acid builds up, it tends to settle in the joints, especially in the toes, ankles, and knees. And when that happens, you might feel a sudden burning pain in your big toe at night, swelling in your calves or ankles, that nagging tightness that makes even a short walk uncomfortable, or that deep, heavy feeling in your legs, like something's dragging you down. Sound familiar? You might think it's arthritis or maybe just aging, but in reality, it could be as simple and as sneaky as those few handfuls of grapes you've been eating every day. And because they're so small and refreshing, it's easy to eat 2 or 3 cups without realizing it. That's a whole lot of sugar and a whole lot of inflammation waiting to happen. Grapes also contribute to fluid retention and joint stiffness, especially if you already have issues with circulation or blood sugar control. So while they may look like the perfect little snack, for people over 60, grapes can quietly make your legs less flexible, more swollen, and much more uncomfortable over time. Now ask yourself, have you been waking up with stiffer joints or noticing more soreness in your legs after a walk? Take a look at your fruit bowl, because the sweetest foods can sometimes leave behind the most bitter pain. Up next, we've got a fruit that's even more hydrating than grapes. Light, juicy, and full of water. But it might be tricking your body in a whole different way. Let's talk about watermelon. Let's talk about watermelon, the fruit of summer. Cool, light, refreshing, and praised by just about everyone as a perfect way to stay hydrated. But here's a question. What if that slice of watermelon is doing more harm than good, especially to your legs? Here's the catch. Even though watermelon feels light, juicy, and harmless, it has a very high glycemic index. That means it raises your blood sugar quickly, almost like candy. And for seniors, whose bodies don't regulate insulin like they used to, that sugar spike can be a big problem. Here's what happens. When blood sugar surges, your body floods with insulin, but aging bodies often don't respond efficiently. That leads to inflammation, especially in areas with weaker circulation, like your calves, ankles, knees. You may have felt it before. That dull, dragging ache after a short walk. The odd swelling around your ankles that shows up for no reason. Climbing stairs suddenly feels like a full-body workout, and yet you probably blamed your age, not your snack, because watermelon feels like water, right? But your bloodstream sees it more like sugar and reacts accordingly. Over time, this subtle stress on your circulation adds up, and the result? Heavier legs, slower recovery after movement, tighter joints and muscles, and that feeling that your steps are getting harder each week. And here's the tricky part. Because watermelon is light, people tend to eat a lot of it. One slice becomes 2, then 3. And suddenly, your sugar intake doubles, and so does the inflammation. Now don't get me wrong, hydration is important. But watermelon might not be helping you hydrate the way you think it is. In fact, if you've been feeling more tired after eating, or notice more swelling in your legs during the summer months, it might be time to take a closer look at what's on your plate. Because the foods that feel refreshing can sometimes leave behind fatigue, stiffness, and pain. And if watermelon can cause this much trouble, what about that other fruit we trust for daily immunity? The one that's on nearly every breakfast table? Let's talk about oranges, and the acidic surprise hiding inside. They're tangy. They're packed with vitamin C, and they've been sold to us for decades as the go-to immune booster. But here's the surprising truth. For seniors, oranges may be doing more harm than good, especially to your joints. Why? The problem lies in their high citric acid content. Yes, oranges are full of healthy nutrients, but they're also full of acid. And if you're over 60 and already dealing with inflammation, stiff joints, or arthritis, that acid can act like a slow-burning match inside your body. Think about this. Do your knees feel extra stiff in the morning? Do your hips ache after long periods of sitting? Are your legs sore for no clear reason, even when you haven't been on your feet all day? You might think it's just aging. But that glass of orange juice you've been faithfully drinking each morning might be quietly adding to your joint pain. Here's how it works. The citric acid in oranges doesn't just stay in your stomach. It gets absorbed into your bloodstream, where it can aggravate already sensitive joint tissues, especially if your circulation is slowing down with age. And when you combine that acid with the natural sugar in oranges, it gets worse. The sugar can cause blood sugar fluctuations, which only amplify inflammation throughout your body. What does that feel like? Every step feels heavier. Your knees, calves, and ankles throb just a little more. That lingering ache turns into chronic discomfort. And here's the hardest part. You've been doing it believing it's the healthy thing, that oranges are helping your body. But as your body changes with age, what once helped may now hurt. Oranges might still be great for younger people, but for aging joints and slowed metabolism, they might be quietly working against you. So before you pour that next glass of orange juice, ask yourself, is this helping me move better or making each step more painful? And if a classic health fruit like oranges can trigger joint irritation, what about a fruit that's crisp, green, and marketed as the cleanest snack of all? Let's talk about green apples, up next. Next on the list is a fruit that most people, especially seniors, think is the healthiest choice: green apples. They're crisp, they're low in sugar, or so we think, and they feel cleaner, lighter, and less sweet than red apples. But here's the truth: even green apples can secretly cause leg pain, stiffness, and fatigue, especially in aging bodies. Let's start with the acid. Green apples are high in something called malic acid. It's what gives them their tart, sour bite. For younger people, it's no big deal. But as we age, our digestive system becomes more sensitive, and our joint tissues more delicate. Malic acid can irritate tissues, including the joints in your hips, knees, feet. Some older adults report burning sensations in their thighs or tightness in the knees shortly after eating green apples. Others feel a mild warmth in their feet or experience restlessness at night in the legs, not knowing where it's coming from. Now let's talk about sugar. Green apples may taste less sweet than red apples, but they still contain a fair amount of natural sugar. And just like with bananas and watermelon, this sugar can cause blood sugar fluctuations in older adults with slower metabolisms, and that leads to muscle fatigue, calf cramping during the night, morning stiffness, and a general sense of weakness when climbing stairs. What's especially tricky is how often green apples are eaten. As a quick snack, on an empty stomach, sometimes even right before bed. That means your body never gets a break, and the acid plus sugar cycle continues. And because they look so clean and healthy, few people ever suspect the apple. But here's the truth: green apples aren't dangerous for everyone, but they might not be ideal for you anymore, especially if you've been feeling more sore, stiff, or tired lately. So the next time you reach for that safe snack, ask yourself, is this truly helping me move better, or slowly making each step more difficult? Because if even a clean, sour apple can do this, what about a fruit that's soft, sweet, tropical, and loaded with natural sugar? Let's talk about mangoes, the sugar bomb in disguise. And now we come to perhaps the most deceptive fruit of all. It's soft, it's juicy, it tastes like summer. Mangoes. Most people, young and old, absolutely love them. But if you're over 60 and dealing with joint pain, leg fatigue, or swelling, mangoes may be silently adding to your discomfort. Here's why. Mangoes are extremely high in natural sugar, more than most fruits. And while that sweetness tastes light and harmless, inside your body, it tells a very different story. When you eat a mango, your blood sugar spikes, fast. And after 60, your metabolism just can't handle those spikes the way it used to. This leads to a surge of insulin, followed by a crash. And each time it happens, it causes more inflammation. Where does that inflammation go? To the soft tissues around your joints, especially ankles, knees, hips, and the small nerves in your feet and toes. You may feel a burning sensation in your toes, tingling that won't go away, swelling in your feet by evening, and that all too familiar feeling of heaviness in your legs. Mangoes are tricky. They feel light, but they don't act light inside your body. And because they taste like a treat, they're easy to overeat. One slice turns into two, then a whole mango. And your body takes the hit, one sugar surge at a time. Here's the truth. Mangoes are natural, but natural doesn't always mean safe for aging joints and slower circulation. So if you've been feeling more sluggish, more sore, or just not as steady on your feet, it might not just be age. It could be what's in your fruit bowl. You've now seen the full picture. 7 fruits that most people think are healthy. But for seniors, may be quietly stealing strength, energy, and mobility. But here's the good news. There are fruits that do the opposite, that fight inflammation, support joint health, and help keep your legs strong and steady. And we'll talk about those next. The fruits you should be eating instead. Now that you know what to avoid, here's the good news. There are fruits that do the exact opposite of everything we've talked about. They don't weigh you down. They lift you up. They don't inflame your joints. They soothe and protect them. These are the fruits you want in your kitchen if you're over 60 and care about stronger legs, better balance, reduced swelling, and easier movement. Every day. Let's go through them, one by one. 1. Berries. Small but mighty blueberries. Blackberries. Raspberries. They may be small, but these little fruits are anti-inflammatory powerhouses. They're low in sugar, high in antioxidants, and gentle on your blood sugar. Best of all, they help improve circulation, especially to the legs. Regularly eating berries can help loosen stiff joints, ease swelling in the ankles, and improve leg mobility. Add them to oatmeal, yogurt, or eat them fresh. A handful a day goes a long way. 2. Cherries. Nature's anti-gout fruit. Cherries, especially tart ones, are known for reducing uric acid levels, which means they can help prevent gout flare-ups and joint pain. They're also rich in anthocyanins, which reduce inflammation in knees, toes, ankles. But here's the key. Eat them in moderation. Just a small handful, not a bowl. 3. Avocados. Yes, it's a fruit. And one of the best avocados are full of healthy fats that lubricate joints and reduce inflammation from the inside out. They also help regulate blood sugar, giving you steady energy without spikes or crashes. And they contain magnesium and potassium, which support muscle function, nerve health, joint flexibility. Add half an avocado to a salad or toast. It's filling, healing, and gentle on the body. 4. Papaya. Tropical, tender, and easy on digestion. Papaya is full of natural enzymes that reduce inflammation and support digestive health, especially important for seniors with sensitive stomachs. It's soft, easy to chew, and helps calm inflamed joints, especially in the hips and knees. Bonus: it's packed with vitamin C, without the harsh acids of citrus. 5. Pears. Simple, sweet, and stable. Pears are often overlooked, but they're a fantastic option for older adults. They offer gentle sweetness with fiber that stabilizes blood sugar and supports gut health. Eat them fresh, baked, or sliced with a bit of protein like nuts or cheese for a balanced snack that keeps your legs moving freely. The big picture. These fruits don't just satisfy your taste buds. They nourish your body, support your strength, and help you feel more in control of your movement. They don't cause bloating. They don't cause inflammation. They work with your body, not against it. Because after 60, eating well isn't just about taste. It's about choosing the right foods for the body you have now, not the one you had 20 years ago. If you've made it this far, it tells me something important. You care about your future, your health, and your strength. And that's powerful, because here's something you need to hear clearly. It's not too late. Not too late to rebuild strength. Not too late to move easier. Not too late to feel better in your own body. Yes, getting older comes with challenges. The stiffness, the swelling, the fear of falling. It can feel like your body is slipping away from you. But here's the truth we believe in at Senior Life Handbook. You don't need extreme diets. You don't need complicated routines. You just need small, smart changes. One fruit, one step, one choice at a time. The fruits we covered today, they're not bad in general. They just might not be right for your body now. Because getting older isn't about giving up. It's about getting wiser. About what works for you in this stage of life. And when you begin to eat mindfully, choosing foods that reduce inflammation, support your circulation, and protect your joints, you start to feel it. Steps feel steadier. Mornings feel smoother, and you begin to trust your body again. That's the goal. Not fear, not restriction, just clarity. And a path forward that feels doable. Now, it's your turn. Tell me in the comments. Which fruit surprised you most today? What change are you ready to make this week? Your story could inspire someone else. And we're building a community of people who want to age smarter, stronger, and more confidently, together. If this video helped you, even in a small way, please hit that like button. It really does make a difference. And don't forget to subscribe to Senior Life Handbook for more tips, truths, and practical advice designed for your stage of life. You're not alone on this journey. And your legs? They carry your independence. Let's take care of them, one smart step at a time.